I'm gonna show you two fascinating games which I saw yesterday, and those games included Magnus Carlsen and Hikaru Nakamura, who will face each other today at the Limburus Abbey Rapid Challenge 2020. The first game that I'm going to show you is the game between Supi from Brazil and Magnus Carlsen, who is playing as black, and he made an account on chess.com with the intention to be rated as number one and then deleting his account. So, will he be able to succeed? Well, he has to first cross through Supi, who is white, and Magnus, who is black. He opens with e4, Supi, and Magnus responds with d5, the Scandinavian defense. Okay, up to now, this is all book stuff, but now he diverts. He plays quite an unusual move, and which is knight f3, which hasn't been seen before. But some players play this. Normally you see knight c3, try to gain a tempi through a development on this queen. Bishop g4, pinning this knight. Bishop e2, knight c6, and the intention is quite similar. White wants to castle this side, black wants to castle this side, so that opposite sides castling, black will try to push these pawns and white will try to initiate its queenside attack on this king. Now knight c3 attacking the queen, queen goes back to d7, h3 attacking the bishop, bishop trades itself, and both sides castle opposite, and now knight d4, so getting rid of this light square bishop, and because it can be annoying at the long run. So good decision from Magnus. And now Supi initiates a deadly attack on the queen's side. But the question is, will we be able to succeed? Is the attack too slow? We will find out. a4, so king goes back to b8. The problem here is for Magnus is these pawns, these pieces are on the starting squares and will take a lot of time to get developed. Whereas if you see white's pieces, the only thing that which is underdeveloped is this bishop on c1. The knight is out, the rook is ready to come here, and already with this a4 move, this rook is now getting active on this closed a file, which might be semi-open in the future. Now comes knight b5. Now initiating the attack, if you take, pawn takes, queen takes, and suddenly you might see this a7 pawn being very loose. You might see d3 and then bishop a7, and even these ideas are quite evident. I don't see how black will be able to stop them. So knight takes f3 check first, queen takes, now a6 kicking the knight, and here if it had been a classical game, Supi would have retreated the knight back because pawn is threatening the knight, so may as well tuck it away. But here he pushes his attack and he plays c4, and yes, again, as I said, this was a blitz game, not a classical game, so Magnus didn't had the time to analyze. So if he had time to analyze, he simply would have taken it, takes, and then he would have played queen d3, and don't see how this white king could have attacked this black king. And even though black is a little bit behind on development, if you try queen d3, queen b1 trying to come here, you just pick this pawn and there is absolutely no way that this queen would be able to come. And yes, as I said, behind the development you just put this knight, put this pawn here, and bishop comes to c5 or b4, black is winning hands down. But after c4, considering the nature of the match or the game, the blitz game, he plays e5. Now try to develop this bishop right here or possibly here or on d6 for that matter, just to protect this pawn. And now comes a very sharp move indeed by Supi. He plays d4, just breaking through, doesn't giving him time to develop these pieces, and yeah, making the most of what is there on the board, and also threatening to play bishop f4 also, or bishop e3 for that matter. And no time to take, because now then this takes, then c5 closing, and then queen a3 would be unstoppable. So he takes on d4, and now comes another crack. Bishop f4, brilliant move by Supi. Just not stopping there, just keep attacking him, throwing white pieces at him, just not giving him time to develop. Just press as much as he can. If bishop here, then knight takes, pawn takes, and then c5 would be annoying, maybe decisive even. So already c7 is on the charge, and here probably he could have tried rook c8 just to defend this pawn, maybe in some other word, but he plays a takes b5. And after this exchange, bishop d6, now comes a brilliant idea. Rook a2, initiating a checkmating attack right on the word go. And this is fascinating. You see the number of pieces coming here. It's absolutely extraordinary the way the attack is going on for white here. He plays queen f5, try to get some play, but now he just brings another rook on the a file. Rook fa1, brilliant move again, threatening mate in 1. There we go. And now Magnus Carlsen tries to escape the checkmate by playing king c8, but he overlooked an incredible move. So take a pause and think what Louis Supi played, which forced Magnus Carlsen to resign. And he said after the game, "Wow, that was awesome, dude." And he ran out of compliments for this move. So what was the move here? If you guess the move, brilliant. And if you want to enjoy the show, it was queen c6. Brilliant move from Louis Supi. And Carlsen resigned. What does this move do? It stops king d7 trying to evacuate through this way, and just to make sure everything is safe. But king d7 not possible because queen controls it, and if pawn takes, then pawn takes, and again this square is covered and absolutely no defense to rook here. You can try to sacrifice some material by queen b1 or bishop a3, but eventually this rook will take it, and then there's absolutely no time to fend this mate off. What a beautiful game by Louis Supi. Fantastic game. So this was the first game, and now I'll be bringing you another game. This was the game from Clutch Chess, and this was the game between Wesley So and Hikaru Nakamura. Wesley So, who had a terrible time in this Lindros Abbey Rapid Challenge. He just lost to Magnus Carlsen, and those 2 rounds completely collapsed there. Couldn't able to win a game against Magnus there. So he comes into this Clutch Chess where 4 players are fighting it out, and it is somewhat complex tournament with some complex rules. We will not go into that. We just go into this game. This is the round 7 game, and this was between Wesley So and Hikaru Nakamura. So Wesley is white, Naka is black. Wesley opens with d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3. The queen's gambit declined. Knight c3, bishop e7 again, bishop g5 being very solid, h6 making room for any future back rank issues that might occur. Bishop f4, castles. Normally we see c5 in yesterday's game against Sergei Karyakin against Daniel Dubov. We saw this c5 move by Sergei, and bishop f4 by Dubov. So nothing new. e3, now c5 as expected. D takes c5, bishop takes c5, and now he can simply if he wants to simplify, he can just simply capture, or maybe knight takes, and then this knight takes, and he could simplify the position. But he plays a3, which isn't bad either. He can play b4 and then c5, and that could initiate a very good attack on the queen side. Knight c6, queen c2, queen a5. This doesn't work because bishop will simply take, and if you take with the pawn, the rook is undefended. So long castles. Now bishop tucks back to e7, and now Wesley starts to push his kingside pawns. g4. This was the same theme that we saw yesterday in the Dubov-Karyakin game, where Dubov also played g4, and obviously this knight cannot take because after rook b1 and then bishop takes h6, white crashes through. So d takes c, bishop takes c. Probably you could have played g5 and then pawn takes, bishop takes, and then recapturing on c4. You saw that yesterday. Everything is repeating here. This game was also played yesterday, by the way. So rook d8. Possibly you could have played queen c5 and tried to play b6 or bishop e7. Maybe better, who knows. Rook takes d8 check, queen takes d8, and g5. So now he's pushing his kingside pawns. Very dangerous indeed. Knight h5, rook d1 attacks the queen. There we go. And the problem here in this structure is again the underdevelopment of the queenside pieces, which is really an issue for black here. And also rook gets the open file with a tempo. Queen c7 cannot be possible because of bishop is controlling this. So it's somewhat quite a tedious situation here. Now the move that I don't like here, which was played by Hikaru, was bishop d7, and really this is such an annoying move. Why it is annoying? Because now you are self-pinning this bishop and it isn't going anywhere, and this queen is somewhat tied up defending this bishop. And if queen e8, well, this is not an ideal square for a queen who controls so many squares in the center to be put in, but he forced himself into it and now he's going to pay for it. Possible move could have been either queen b6 or queen a5, and the position is still fine and without any threats whatsoever. Possibly not to the extent of winning or to be a better, but still playable position. But now comes g takes h6. Wesley so crashes through. Knight takes f4, e takes f4. Now queen c7 attacking the pawn on f4. Now comes queen e4. It's defending everything. And if he had wanted to just keep position defending well, he could have simply played bishop e8, and then in a good world he could have played rook d8 as well. Let's say bishop e8, f5, rook d8. The position is not so bad for white, but still the tension on e6 still would have been a very big issue here. But here Naka goes for knight a5, which was a mistake, because after knight e5 suddenly everything is landing on black. There's already a threat of rook d7 and so many things going on here. Naka defends the bishop by playing bishop e8, and now if you can pause the video and think what Wesley so played, it was an incredible move, amazing move. So if you found out that move, fantastic, and if you just want to enjoy the show, it was rook d7, fantastic move. Why it is fantastic? If bishop takes, then h7 check is winning. You cannot go here because knight takes f7 will be checkmate. And after h7 check, after bishop takes and then h7 check, if you go here, then you can even promote it to a rook and still that would be checkmate. What a fantastic move this is. So you cannot take this with the bishops. So he goes queen c5. And now b4, forking the knight and the queen. winning the material, but queen takes f2, doesn't go after the material on a5, he goes after the material on e7, which is even stronger. Queen g1 check, where the king is very safe indeed. Knight d1, and after queen takes h2, Hikaru resigned. Queen takes h2 was the move that Hikaru played, because Wesley would have played bishop takes e6, and look at everything, how white is crashing through. If this is taken, then rook takes g7 check is coming. Everything is winning here, and then knight g6 check will be the end of the world. Could be the end of the world. It would be simply fantastic, and no threats coming out here. Well, let's say rooks, if you play rook c8, king b1, the c2 is very well guarded by this queen, so nothing is landing here. What a fantastic game. Well, the game came out to queen takes h2 before the bishop takes e6 would have been played, and it was here that Nakamura resigned. What a fantastic these two games, and these two would be fighting against each other in the semi-finals of the Lindros Abbey Rapid Challenge. So, what a fantastic game. I hope you liked my video. I hope you liked the games which I brought you. And Louis Supi indeed looks like a fantastic prospect in the future. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Cheers. Bye.